Beep, 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 beep. Morning. Right, okay. I can't believe this. I can't, you know? And despite the fact that there's humour in this, what a surprise, I found some humour. Okay? It's really serious. I'm reading an article from the Times which informs me that I'm reading it free for free. Subscribe, flash sale. No, I've got the money. Right, okay, now. This sort of happened, you know, every fucking time. If I stopped because of the noise, it would happen 2 or 3 times. So I have to keep going. You swine! God, dear. Right, okay. Somebody needs to oil that garbage can. Right, so moving on, okay? Thank you. Sex education group regrets web links to fetish material. That's actually a headline. Sex education group regrets web links to fetish material. This is a group that goes into schools. Now, I don't know how this sneaked by, but it did. And I was sent by a nefarious certain Twitter rodent. I think they're rodents, these animals that this person purports to be, right? A link to tribunal tweets. Now, tribunal tweets, if you don't know, are a citizen's service who turn up at tribunals that are relevant to any areas, generally around safeguarding, but also around things like, you know, doctors that have prescribed puberty blockers to children, those types of things. And they provide an extraordinary service. I mean, it's an extraordinary idea. They sit there in the tribunal or in the courtroom, whatever it may be, type, and you can watch the unfolding drama of the courtroom. I sound fed up today because I am actually fed up today. Okay, I can't believe that's a headline. Sex education group regrets web links to fetish material. So let's take a look, and then after that, I'm going to read you some of the responses from the tribunal, and we'll take a little small time, if you wish to examine them and to see what actually is being said underneath the obfuscation of the individual that's being questioned. An organisation that provides sex education... I'm going to shoot him. An organisation that provides sex education lessons in schools has apologised for posting links on its website to regrettable material about fetishes, sex toys and introductory guides to quick, rough, anonymous sex. Right. The School of Sexuality Education has worked with about 300 primary and secondary schools to host age-appropriate workshops on sex and relationships. It is in a legal dispute with Claire Page, a mother from Deptford in South London. When Page looked online at the organisation's team of facilitators being in the old speech marks, this is in the Dubras, by the way, she found website links that showed some of the people hosting the lessons also had commercial interests in the sex industry, such as selling sex toys and promoting pornography. One of the teachers described themselves as a master fetish trainer. We've lost the plot. Paige asked her daughter's school... I don't care what these people do, by the way. I don't give a toss what they do, but then they're going to stand up and teach. No, okay? No. No. If that's part of your public persona, you don't get to do that. Paige asked her daughter's school, Haberdashers Hatcham College, in New Cross, southeast London, who had taught a sex education lesson to the 15-year-old and what it entailed. So think who and the what. This is what the mother wants to know. When she was turned down, she appealed to the Information Commissioner's Office. Now, if you're not in the UK, the Information Commissioner's Office is where you go to when you've sent a Freedom of Information request, tell me about, and they've said, no, you can bugger off and here's why, right? Then you go to the ICO, Information Commissioner's Office, and they will do an assessment, a legal assessment, and go, no, they're right to say no. And in this case, the Information Commissioner's Office said, also rejected a request, saying it was commercially sensitive and a copyright matter because the material belonged to an external organisation. I've said this before and I'll say it again. I've trained for many years. I've no interest in training PSHE. I think it's a nonsense anyway. to teach kids most of it. They get on with it themselves. Thank you very much. But if somebody said to me, right, you know, if you're going to teach my child, I want you to show me it, I would go, yeah, all right, that's fine. Because I can tell you this now, if an organisation, a training organisation, is using people who are more reliant on a copyrighted, claimed PowerPoint presentation or a scheme of work, or a lesson plan, which has to be kept from the public because everything they need to say is in the lesson plan, then this organisation should not be trusted to teach. Right? Because that's, you know, they shouldn't be trusted to teach. Because what really matters is the teacher and the teacher's ability to interpret the story that's told by the lesson plan and therefore allow for learning. If they're saying the lesson plan is, no, you can't have that, then they've got a lesson plan that is directing their teacher rather than a teacher who is telling a story and encouraging learning. I would be worried by this, because a teacher worth their salt will have lesson plans, but adapts to the room, what the children understand, what they want to take on board, questions they have to ask. So, at a tribunal appealing against the decision, Dolly Padalia, the chief executive of the School of Sexuality Education, defended the decision to keep the identities of people teaching children about sex secret from parents. They said, and ultimately, that it isn't necessarily relevant because they're representing an organisation and our approach and our work and our programmes, which is standardised. That's a lie. If it's so standardised, you don't need the teacher. If it's so standardised, it's just information, in which case you can put it online. If you're just giving somebody information, oh, I'll read this. That's all they need. Right? You don't get somebody in, at great cost, I imagine, to stand there and espouse about a given subject, unless they're going to bring something to it that can't be written on the paper. If it's so standardised, it should be online. There's no need for a trainer at all. They set themselves up and I don't think they know what they're doing, right? Okay, so. However, she admitted, this is the Dolly, my love, hey Dolly. However, she admitted that it was regrettable that any children who saw its website were only a couple of clicks from sexually explicit content about adult topics such as sex toys, bondage, and anal masturbation. Just regrettable. Regrettable. Anybody who's ever built a website will tell you. You put a link into a website and you know it's going to go public. How many times do you think you're going to check that link once you've got that page done? It was regrettable. You didn't just drop the ball. I think you knew what you were doing. That's just me. Could be wrong. The aim really was to not come across as this cold and clinical website that just advertises academic qualifications. We really wanted to demonstrate that we are non-judgmental and diverse and frame ourselves as an unembarrassable team. Right. Really? Right, okay. Non-judgmental and diverse and frame ourselves as an unembarrassable team. But I do appreciate this pointed out a weakness and not enough planning. I can understand why parents are concerned. Got caught, didn't you? You got caught. Unembarrassable team. We didn't want to come across as cold and clinical. That's all you should be telling them is the cold and clinical. How dare you remove the joy of exploration from young people by explaining to them in intimate detail what you should find fun and what you shouldn't. How dare you? Leave children alone, weirdo, right? Because the kids will find out about it, and as they get older, they'll do more, and then they'll do more, and then they'll do more. Like we all bloody did, right? And make fools of themselves, you know? Padalia said making SSE materials, same-sex education, or sub-sex, whatever it is, education materials, publicly available will be fatal to the business. Why? Why? Quite frankly, we as an organisation rely on income from schools in order to quite literally function and pay salaries, and that's what we're relying on. That's our model. If schools don't need to book us anymore because they have our content, that's pretty much over as an organisation. Go on, tell me what's in your content that isn't available freely on the web. Tell me what's in your content that couldn't be told to kids by any teacher. I don't know why people find this so complicated. Good morning, class. Right? If you're going to play with yourself, don't do it too often. Try not to play with others until you're 16. And just be safe with you. Condoms the pill. Next, molecular physics. I don't know, right? But surely this isn't necessary. Here's a book. Read it. I mean, surely it's not necessary. As if kids aren't online going, what's wanking? You know? Or what's this? Or what's that? They're doing it and they're telling each other, right? Which, strangely enough, is exactly what the most of us did. It's, you know, people are going, they shouldn't be taught it. I'm not in that camp, okay? I don't think they shouldn't be taught it because they shouldn't know it. I think they shouldn't be taught it because half the fun of it all is finding out. How dare these mad, leftist, liberal lunatics want to micromanage the emergent sexuality of children and young adults. Weirdos, right? That's what they are, weirdo. Leave them alone, right? They'll get it. We're here, I'm here, you're here. I wonder how we got here, right? Without a whole slavering pack of nut jobs lining up outside classrooms going, today we'll do cunnilingus. Maha, lickety split. No, F off, right? When challenged about facilitators' links with adult industries, Pedalia said, our facilitators are extremely boundaried. Oh, are they, Pedalia? And actually, all of our sessions are depersonalised, always at all times. Well, that's about culpable deniability, isn't it? The organisation has removed facilitators' biographies from its website. The hearing continues. What is going on here? What is it, you know? Weirdos, leave the kids alone. You're weirdos, okay? I was talking to one of my warrior teachers. They said that their 14-year-old nephew, says they all go into school now. Right, and the teacher comes in and goes, and today we're going to do sex education. My name is Paddy Wobble, and I'm a non-binary salamander axolotl fuckwit, and blah, 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 right? And they start going off and the kids just roll their eyes, you know? And then when the person's finished, they get on the playground and go, wankers. That's what it needs to be. These kids get it. Fuck off, leave them alone. I'm sweary today, see, because this makes me angry. It makes me angry because it's interfering with the natural development of young people. Right? They need information. That's what they need. They don't need instruction or people coming into the room who think that they're master fetish teachers. What even is that? Master fetish teachers. I think the fact that they're called master fetish teachers shows what they are. Fetish teachers. Just go away, stupid persons. So we then have what I mentioned before, which is tribunal tweets, the actual Twitter stuff going down. So let's just take a look at just some of it, okay? So I'm just going to pick a couple, just so that you can get an idea. They say here, right, in our experience, right, moving on, right? This is the questioning lawyer talking to this knick-knack paddywhack woman, right? Moving on, you encourage schools to vet your materials in advance, yes, but that didn't happen in this case. Response: we have standard practice for engagement with schools, complementing schools' own curriculum. So they didn't answer it then, right? They didn't answer it, right? I'm asking you, says the prosecutor, or whatever it is. It's not a prosecutor, says the lawyer. I'm asking because if we look here, school is saying you did not provide the consent session material you will be teaching before the session. To which this knick-knack paddywhack says, we make a difference between sharing actual copies, which we didn't, and run through summaries, which we did. Here's a summary of what we're teaching. That's so dangerous. This is with children, right? Now, if it was adults, I wouldn't give, you got a summary? Right, so that's right, because the adults are going to go, yeah, you're full of crap. So they give summaries, but they won't show them what they're actually going to teach. Dear God, this is a red flag as big as Australia. But schools did not have the material. No, you have not mentioned a run-through before, but not in either witness statement, because it's standard practice. Amelia would have done this. It's standard, is it? Right. So you did not personally do the run-through and you didn't record it. Standard not to record it. Be in a diary somewhere. Outlook. Run through of materials with school, with client. Can you imagine it's not? So Friday, yeah, I'm going to go and do this there, right? Your policy is schools must not keep materials. Yes. So, for example, Ofsted cannot inspect what has been taught. Good question. We provide summers, etc. for this, for schools to keep. Didn't answer the question. It's obfuscation. Obfuscation again. We provide, again, repeated, we provide summary materials in advance and they can keep that. To which the prosecutorial person, whatever it is, lawyer says, but not the teaching material actually used, and Ofsted would not be able to check. No, but summaries, descriptions, plans. We're teaching children, Ofsted can't check it. Anybody else waving a red flag right now? The size of Australia? Do you accept that preventing parents from seeing materials, you are inhibiting their ability to engage with a child on the matters covered? Yes, good question. And we do want to engage with parents, but we put a lot of work into our slides, etc. It's what we sell. It's what we sell. We want parents involved. We offer them workshops. Very important for RSC to have multi-approach, including parents, but have to involve parents in a way that doesn't harm our organisation. Why on earth would involving parents harm your organisation? It's what's not being said here that's interesting, isn't it? The prosecutorial jabber then says, I repeat, refusing to share means parents can't engage with the child about it. And Knick-Knack Paddywhack says, disagree. Not how all this works. What if a parent wanted to discuss it with a partner, although not the case here, a religious leader? Our summaries, etc., provide enough information. What are they hiding? What are they hiding? You say that you don't take inappropriate materials into schools, but how can parents be confident of that if they can't see what is taught? We have teachers present. We follow DFE guidelines. Ofsted have observed us. So Ofsted observed you. Right, okay. You knew they were coming. Right, okay. Can I clarify re Ofsted? Going very fast. Ofsted have observed us in the past. More recently, I'm going to check with Ofsted. We all should check. Ring Ofsted. Somebody ring Ofsted and ask them. Right? More recently, you've been advocating a book called, and then the person doing the typing missed the name of the book. I'm sorry about that. Miss Page says in witness statement that the book has an exercise in it called Good Sex, Bad Sex, which includes discussion of anal sex, group sex, and BDSM. To which this, we then say, it says that love and affection is sometimes, but not always, part of good sex. It says that some people like painful sex or anonymous sex. Do you think telling children anonymous sex is good, is harm-free? Book not bias, we don't teach the book. You would not advocate anonymous sex to children? No. But you recommend the book on your website? Yes, but for adults. They go into schools, they'll have a website. That website should be cognizant of the fact that it's young children who are going to be looking at that particular material. Turning to the sample lesson, and then the judge says, are you going to finish? Come on, I need me tea, I need brandy, whatever it is they have, right? Then they come back from the break, and it says, this plan is from your website, and it says it's for 16 plus, right? And then Knick-Knack Paddywhack says, not plans, never taught, not in the curriculum. But it's your name on them. Yes, worksheets, but not lesson plans. And then, can you understand why Miss Page might think lesson plans, they are resources for use during pandemic, not in schools? Children were spending a lot of time online, resources of parents and teachers developed with universities. To which the finger pointer says, that's helpful. Thank you. So they've done some work during COVID as well to give people stuff that they could use for children and young people. You co-created, it says age of 16 plus. They then say, and then responds with, encourages parents, teachers to get those children to watch a Netflix program called Sex Education. So the lawyer is asking, are you asking these kids to watch Sex Education, which Netflix rates 18 plus? Which the person responds, yes, children are already watching them, so we always work on the premise that they have, and then we look at challenging harmful stuff in them. To which the lawyer responds, but here you are encouraging 16-year-olds to watch an 18-plus film. DFE guidance is clear, must be age appropriate. To which Knick-Knack Paddywhack replies, disagreeing that we encourage them to view it. It says explicitly here, the lawyer says, must question that. It says here explicitly, watch this, encouraging 16-year-old to watch 18-plus film. And then they reply, we sort of meant watch it as a recap for teachers and educators to use. No, you didn't. Now, I've got no issue with a 16-year-old watching what was it called? It's called Sex Education or something. It's an awful bloody programme anyway, and full of angst and, teenagers that can't masturbate. It's vile, right? It's full of crap and nonsense, the usual queer stuff. Even though it's got some good actors in it, it's weird, isn't it? Right, but it's a rubbishy programme. And then DP again, she responds with, in our experience, teachers and educators want material to help them engage with children on things like this. If we want to engage young people, there's no point pretending to them that they haven't seen it. So there's the bait and switch between children and young people. Whether you like it, whether I like it, or whether they like it, the simple fact of the matter is that anybody under 18 is a child. Right, now you know as well as I do, right, that 16-year-olds are going to get up to stuff that they shouldn't do. Did we all? Did we all? Right? Smoking, drinking, doing whatever it is. And then also they can legally have sex. What concerns me is that there doesn't seem to be any concentration of removal between 16 and 18 and under 16s. That's what worries me about it all. And then what they say is, the lawyer says, you have said you employ best practice. If we look at the next page, you are asking 16-year-olds to write down phrases associated with sex. I like this, black brackets, close brackets sort of thing. Not brackets, speech marks. I like this sort of thing. And you list some possible adjectives, right? They're trying to find out what sex 16-year-olds like. Weirdos! You then say, look at yourself in a mirror at the end, or have a video call with a friend to discuss. You're aware video calls could be recorded, yes, but children already do that anyway. They already use that vocabulary. Holy shaman, it's just insane. Do you not think that encouraging young people to make video calls talking about sex, which might be recorded and shared, is a safeguarding risk? Yes, if that happened, the school should take it very seriously. Well, our approach is always that young people should have agency, should never do anything they are not comfortable with. Our approach is that young people should have agency. They should never do anything they are not comfortable with. If you propose this, says the lawyer, you are encouraging it. You are leading children to believe this is safe. Is that best practice? And they respond with, well, it might not be a video call, might not be recorded. In any case, it's with a peer, and the teacher or educator might be present. Can you not see this is not safe, says the lawyer. See what you are saying, but that is not feedback we've had. I've got the tribunal tweets links in the doobers. I've gone on for far too long with this, but I tell you, I could go on all day. We've lost the plot. There's something deeply sinister about this move to control the sexual exploration of the young. And I think it's deeply damaging. Deeply damaging to have adults going in and interrupting the sex lives of children, right? Now there'll be people out there who go, children don't have sex lives. Yes, they do, right? Once they get to a certain age. I'm not talking about nippers, right? When they get to a certain age, they will have a sex life of their own with themselves, right? Okay? So let's not pretend, like these people say, let's not pretend they don't, they do. But what it doesn't require is for them to go in and give them a 150-point explanation with instructions and diagrams of where exactly they should wrap their fist or stick their finger. Leave them alone, you absolute bloody TQ weirdos. Turns out one of the teachers is a they. Right, there you go. Right, a non-binary nut job. This is queer theory in action. Go and have a look at the tribunal tweets thing, and you tell me what you think. But I think it's queer theory in action. And I think the court case, the more you read of it, the more you realise all they're doing is queering. And they're looking for culpable deniability. It wasn't me, it was them. So they say, don't talk to us, talk to the school. Because the school's responsible. Sounds like Stonewall, doesn't it? Don't talk to us, talk to the company. These people are weasels. And I don't know what's going to happen to this knick-knack paddywhack person, but we'll see. I'm hoping that the ICO will be overturned and that they'll be forced to give the materials. But the school should simply go to providers and say, we're going to want all the materials and we're going to want to see them, and you're going to have to run the sessions for parents as well. And the school should pay for that, of course. But any training company, any teaching company worth their salt will quite happily do that. If they don't want to do it in front of the parents, if they aren't willing to do it in front of the parents, if they aren't willing to explain fully to the parents what they are teaching their children, then you need to be asking some serious damn questions. Jester out. Bye.